Good morning, students. Students, we have started our lesson number 11, Human Body and Organ System. And in our previous lectures, we have studied about respiratory system, the organs involved in respiratory system. We have also learned the structure and functions of heart. And we have also learnt about blood and components of blood. In today's lecture, we shall be learning about blood groups and blood pressure. So let's begin. First, let us see what is blood. So children, blood. There are various definitions which blood defines. In simple word, it is a red liquid which circulates in arteries and veins. Humans and other vertebrate animals carrying oxygen to and carbon dioxide from the tissues of the body. Others define blood is a vital principle of life. It is the mechanism of blood and bodies of living organism which can differentiate one individual from another by the presence or absence of specific antigens in the blood. This system is called as blood group. There are four types of blood groups: A, B, AB and O blood groups. Well, blood types are 100% genetically inherited. The environment can potentially determine which blood type in a population will be passed on more frequently to the next generation. Now let's study blood type A. If the red blood cells have only A molecules on it, it is type A blood group. Blood type B. If the red blood cells have only B molecules on it. Blood type AB. If the red blood cells have a mixture of both A and B molecules in it. And the blood type O. If the red blood cells have neither A or B molecules. So these are the four types of blood. Now let's see the blood group facts. There are 8 different common blood types which are determined by the presence or absence of certain antigens, which are the substance that can trigger the immune response if any foreign substance enter the human body. Since some antigen can trigger up an immune system to attack the transfused blood. So, blood transfusion depends on careful blood typing and cross-matching. Now the next turn is to know about the interesting fact known as the Rh factor, which can be present either positive or absent negative. In general, Rh negative blood is given to Rh negative patient and Rh positive blood or Rh negative blood may be given to Rh positive patients. Now let's see the universal donor and the universal recipient. The universal red cell donor has blood O negative blood type, and the universal plasma donor has blood AB positive blood type. Let's see blood transfusion. Blood transfusion is a medical term. It means a procedure used to transfer blood or some products based on blood from the circulatory system of one human to that of the another human. Blood types are very important when a blood transfusion is necessary. In a blood transfusion, a patient must receive a blood type compatible with his or her own blood type. If the blood types are not compatible, red blood cells will clump together, making clots that can block the blood vessels, causing a potentially fatal situation. Therefore, it is important the blood type should be matched before blood transfusion takes place. In an emergency, type O blood can be given because it is most likely to be accepted by all the blood groups or types. However, there is still risk involved. Now, why blood transfusion are performed? Loss of blood during surgery from an injury or illness, and inability of making of blood. Some illnesses and treatments can harm the bone marrow ability to make blood. Chemotherapy reduces the production of new blood cells. To prevent complications from an existing blood or bleeding disorder, such as sickle cell disease, thalassemia, or anemia caused by kidney disease or hemophilia. The next week we shall see preparing for a blood donation. If a child needs a blood transfusion, the doctor will speak to you about the procedure. If you have any questions be sure to ask. And when you feel comfortable with the information and your questions are fully answered, then you will be asked to sign a consent form. And then the process is completed. This is how blood donation is being done. Now let us study about blood pressure. If you are lined up all the blood vessels in your body, they will be about 95 kilometers long, and every day they carry an equivalent of over 7,500 liters of blood, though that's actually the same for 4 to 5 liters recycled over and over, delivering oxygen and precious nutrients like glucose and amino acids to the body tissues. All that blood exerts a force on the muscular walls of the blood vessels, and that force is called the blood pressure, and it rises and falls with the phases of heartbeat. It is highest during systole pressure, when the heart contracts to force blood through the arteries. This is called the systolic blood pressure. When the heart is at rest between the beats, blood pressure falls to its lowest value called diastolic pressure. A typical healthy individual produces a systolic pressure between 90 to 120 millimeters of mercury and diastolic pressure between 60 to 80 millimeters of mercury. Taking together, a normal reading is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury.
A higher pressure is needed to push it, so the heart will pump harder. A high salt diet will lead to a similar result. The salt promotes water retention, and the extra fluid increases the blood volume and blood pressure. And stress, like the fight or flight response, releases hormones like epinephrine and norepinephrine that constrict key vessels, increasing the resistance to flow and raising the pressure upstream. Blood vessels can usually handle these fluctuations easily. Elastic fibers embedded in their walls make them resilient. But if your blood pressure regularly rises above about 140 over 90, what we call hypertension, and stays there, it can cause serious problems. That's because the extra strain...
So let's take the summary. Blood groups and blood typing. Blood group notation. According to the blood grouping system, you can either belong to the following 8 blood groups: A Rh positive, A Rh negative, B Rh positive, B Rh negative, AB Rh positive, AB Rh negative, and O Rh positive, O Rh negative. So these are the 8 types of blood group. So do you know which blood group you are having, children? Check. ABO blood grouping system. If you are having blood group A, you have antigens A on the surface of your RBCs and B antibodies in your plasma. Blood group B. If you belong to the blood group B, you have B antigens on the surface of your RBCs and A antibodies in your blood plasma. Okay? The next one, blood group AB. If you belong to the blood group AB, you have both A and B antigens on the surface of your RBCs and no A or B antibodies at all in your blood plasma. Blood group O. If you belong to the blood group O, you have neither A or B antigens on the surface of your RBCs, but you have both A and B antibodies in your blood plasma. Okay? Blood compatibility and transfusion. The ABO and RH groups are factored together to identify one of the previous 8 blood types. During blood transfusion, doctors must be aware of these blood types to prevent agglutination of the recipient's blood, to prevent the blood clotting. Now, blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force blood exerts against the inner walls of the blood vessels. Force occurs throughout system, but blood pressure commonly refers to the pressure in arteries supplied by the branches of the aorta. Systolic pressure. It is the pressure produced in the arteries when the ventricles contract, and it is at the highest pressure. So it is a systolic pressure. Diastolic pressure. It is the pressure in the arteries when the ventricles are relaxed. So it is at the lowest value. So this is called as diastolic pressure. To measure the blood pressure, you have seen this instrument when you must have visited the doctor. This instrument is called as sphygmomanometer. Nowadays there is a digital sphygmomanometer as well to measure the blood pressure. Have you seen, children, this machine? You must have seen it. So children, with this we have done with our today's topic. So was this topic interesting, children? Yes, it was. So children, please do read the lesson as well and kindly watch this video attentively to understand the concept better. So we shall see you in the next video with a new topic. Till then, take care. Thank you, students. Bye-bye.